Okay, viewers, welcome back to Ray's Way. And if you're new, thanks for stopping by. Now today what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a pink flowering dogwood tree. Okay, now let me show you what I have here and then we'll get this going. Okay, so there's my pink dogwood tree. These trees, they can get anywhere from 15 to 30 feet high and 25 foot around. Now, of course, pruning the tree will dictate, how well it grows and the width of it and shape and so forth. Pruning is a good thing to do. You don't want too many branches on there. You want some good wind flow through there and so forth. These trees are kind of acceptable to disease, so you got to, watch with cutting around them. You definitely don't want to rip into the bark, nicking it with a weed whacker and so forth. Anytime you do something like that, it opens up the tree for disease. So got to be careful with that. So, but what we have here, of course, is we're going to have some mulch. I got some cow manure and some topsoil, of course, because the ground I'm going to put this in, it's really just fill. It's a really not good ground, let's say, to grow trees. Like if you saw my last video on my green giant arborvitae trees I plant, I did have to use some manure and everything, and some good soil and so forth to make sure these trees take. I mean, that's the whole idea of it, of course. Now, these pink dogwoods are good in the growing zones from, growing zone 5 through 9. Where I'm located, I'm at 6A or 6B, so this is a good growing area for these types of trees. And placement with these trees, generally you want them in a sunny area or mostly or partial shade. Now it's best to be in partial shade. My particular area for the time being is basically going to be mostly sun. Okay, so it's going to be a sunny area. Now once my green giant arborvitae take over and catch up, then I'm sure there'll be some partial shade going on there. So when you dig this hole, you want to dig twice as wide as the container it came in. So that's like a 10-inch bucket, so I want to dig twice as wide and just as deep. So it's going to be about 10 inches deep, and you want to leave the top of that tree root ball about ½ inch above the remaining soil. Again, generally they want you to bring the soil that you took out of your digging, use that to backfill. In my scenario, I'm not going to use most of that because, again, it's rocky and it's really not good fill. So let's get started. Okay, viewers, here's going to be my placement, and you can tell like this is not the best soil conditions here, of course. So we'll put this tree right about here. It's going to be at the edge of the property line, in the back corner, top of the hill, so it should get some good drainage and should take off. Got partial shade. Like I said, it's mostly sunny though, mostly sunny. We do have these trees right here that provide that partial shade in the mid-morning hours. So, all right. Like I knew this was fill. Look at this. It was all just rock, slag, just fill. So I know I said it'd go twice as deep, twice as wide and just as deep as the bucket, but I decided I'm going to go a little bit deeper. We'll get a good base of some new topsoil manure. We'll get that filled up, packed around. And we still want the top of this root ball to be above the surface of the ground. So I got a lot of filling to do. So I got several bags of dirt and manure I'm going to mix up and put in there. And we'll put this in and mulch it, water it first, and then mulch it and call it a day. But give me a few moments to get some of this dirt in here, and I'll show you as we go. All right, viewers, at this point I got one bag of manure there and one bag of topsoil. I'm getting ready to place the pot in here. I'll pull it out. Let's see what the roots are, look like, and let me show you what I need to do here. Okay, first let me pull this out of the pot. Oh, well, that didn't go as good as I anticipated. All right, viewers, when I pulled that out, I was expecting to get the whole thing out in one chunk. However, it didn't really work out that way. So I'm gonna put this in here, and I saved some of this, you know, from the pot, of course. We're gonna bed this around the roots, you know. I'm gonna make sure it stays straight, and we'll keep these sticks in the ground here to help keep the tree straight until it takes off. You know, we'll kind of keep it that way to kind of help keep it straight, look straight. So we'll fill this in. Again, I'm going to make sure this root ball is high enough off the ground, like a 1/2 inch high, so it doesn't rot, because when you water it, if it sits on top or it's under level, then all the water is going to sit and rot around the top of that ball and kill that root. Obviously I got to go a little deeper here. This top part's sticking up here. Get that root in the ground there. Root ball in there. Again. It should take, you don't want to get too far under. What you do is make like a little basin, so when I water this, it sits in, but it doesn't. This helps it absorb so it doesn't run off. Okay, so hopefully, now I'll water this, then we'll come back and we'll put mulch around here, and that way I'm far enough away so if I have to cut the grass around it with a push mower or even a rider, if I can get around it, you know, I won't be hitting the messing up the bark of the tree, causing damage and so forth. So again, I'll keep this up. Again, make like a basin. This water is going to absorb. So let me get the hose, water this down, then we'll mulch it all up there for you. Okay, viewers, now that I got water out here, like I indicated, we're gonna let this fill, let it pull. Generally, you only really need a couple gallons of water, but we're gonna let this pull up, and see how you got that catch basin in there. The water stays right there. It's going to absorb and not run away, type of thing. So once this gets all in there and it sucks it down, then I'll lay a couple inches of mulch around the top. I'll wet it down again to get the mulch all wet, and it helps to you know, keep it from drying out. If it rains, it's kind of like a slow drip, kind of like a water drip line. You know, it feeds through the mulch and continues to water the plant. So hopefully we'll get some flowers on this tree next year in the growing season. This should be good from now. Start putting the mulch in and give it a second or two for that to, you know, absorb. And it's all fresh fill or fresh soil and fresh manure. It should be all good with that root. They should be able to root out, search for water. It's a big enough opening there that, you know, the tree's going to have a few years to mature and grow and then get bigger before it's going to be rooting out into the more compact earth that was here with that fill. So now that you see this is absorbed here, we're just going to add some mulch to it. Of course, I could have done this, ripped this bag a little easier, you know, but again, we want to keep it away really from the bark. You know, just like we were saying, we don't want the water to, you know, a few layers of mulch around there, a couple inches. You know, hey, I don't do this for a living. You know, doing this raised way, of course. You know, how you do your trees, your planting, it's all up to you. You know, again, my role is to just show you how easy some things could be here. And it doesn't hurt to try things yourself instead of getting a professional in here to do it. Because one, you save money, and two, you get a little bit of pride when this tree takes off and grows, and you initiated it. You know, this is done because of you and not someone you hired. But again, whatever works for you, there you go. Consider this job complete. Now, of course, I'll rake all this other stuff around it away, but there you go, putting in the tree on raised way. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos, especially my green giant my green giant trees. Check that video out if you didn't already do so. And thanks for stopping by.